as Tori said, my name's Philip White, and I'm the head of extracurricular at Abbey College. I'm also a PE teacher in the school, so if you are a CSA student, then I'll be somebody that you will see for your PE lessons as well. I'm going to talk to you today about the extracurricular program we have at Abbey College, I'll speak to you about clubs, trips, all the sports we have on offer, music, house activities, and then something else called Abbey Inspires as well, and how that will link to your studies and how it will link to your UCAS applications and how it will benefit you by taking part in all our fantastic and amazing activities we have on offer. Please think of lots of questions. I'm happy to take any questions at the end. If you need me to repeat anything, I'm more than happy to do so as well. Okay. So I'll just go through my presentation, and hopefully this will give you a good idea about the amazing opportunities we can offer at Abbey College. There you go. Okay. So I'm just going to move this. Okay, so as you can see, my name's Philip White. On the screen, you can see that my contact details at the bottom of the screen. So philip.white@abbeykambridge.co.uk. I'm going into my second year at Abbey College now, and my first year was absolutely amazing. I've had a fantastic time, met some amazing people, and I'm looking forward to meeting many of you who are going to join us in September. This is the first school. I've worked in 4 or 5 different schools now in England, and this is the first one where I've seen such a wide variety of activities and clubs on offer. And everything we do, we are going to continue to try and build on these and make the offering to prospective students as wide as possible, so you can enjoy all the activities that you like to do. I'm going to start off by talking to you about the music that we have on offer. We have a director of music at Abbey College called John Morgan, and his email address will come up at the end, and he's more than happy for you to email him and ask any questions that you have about music in particular. But we have a wide variety of facilities. We have concerts at the end of each term that sometimes the whole school will go to, or as many people as possible. And then there'll be smaller concerts for those people who are starting to learn or want to build confidence in their performance. As you can see by the picture on the left-hand side, that's one of our pianos, and that's situated in one of our music rooms. We also have pianos located in reception, which is lovely to hear people playing piano when you're walking through the reception. There are also pianos in the boarding houses for people to practice on. These are some of the music clubs we have on offer. There's rock club, glee, singing, ukulele, classical, drum, music production, and then John is always working on more and more music clubs. Student bands are encouraged. We had some amazing student bands this year. I was so impressed to see them performing at the different concerts we have, and they're fully encouraged. You're fully encouraged to sort of start your own bands and then use the practice rooms when you want to. Again, pianos have been mentioned. Private lessons as well. So John has a wide variety of tutors that he has access to. So if you would like to continue and learn and have some private lessons, then he is able to sort of arrange those. There are some amazing musicians that are in Cambridge. It's quite a hub for sort of classical music, and so there are a wide variety of teachers that can come and teach you should you wish to have any more lessons. Here are some pictures of our amazing music rooms and some of the students who have used them. Before you use the music rooms, you will need to have a sort of a quick induction so that John can show you the do's and don'ts, but after that you're free to sort of book it out at your time, after lessons, at weekends, go in and use the equipment safely, and then return the key to reception. So we have a lot of amazing equipment that you will have access to, and which is then used in clubs. So this is the contact details. If you're interested in music, I'll just leave this up for 30 seconds or so. So it's just music@abbeykambridge.co.uk. So any questions about music, please contact John and he will answer them for you. Okay, hopefully you've got that written down if you needed it. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is all our house activities that we have on offer. So at Abbey College, we had 7 this year, but potentially we'll have 8 different houses this year. So when you arrive, you'll be put into a particular house based on where you are staying. So we have Apollo, Athena, Hera, Jupiter, Juno, Minerva, Neptune, and Zeus. Okay, so you will be affiliated with one of these houses, and then throughout the year you will earn achievement points in your lessons by doing amazing work and putting in lots of effort. You also then earn house points by participating in house activities. And I'm just going to show you some pictures of some of the house activities that happened this year in a second. So yeah, this is achievement points. So you can earn these in lessons. And we have numerous awards each week: Student of the Week, Boarder of the Week. If you have 100% attendance, you're getting more achievement points. All of these different points will go towards your house total. On the back of these achievement points, they don't just sort of mean anything virtually and just go to your house. You can then also get rewards from them as well. So we look at the amount of achievement points you get, and then you can either, last year, this might change based on student feedback from surveys that we've done, but last year it was a cafe token, so you could get a free item from the cafe, or £5 Amazon voucher for a certain amount of points that you get, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. So that's some incentive there for you to not just get some points for your house, but to earn some things for yourself. House points. Okay, so house points you'll earn through house competitions. These are different to achievement points, but they all come together to give your house a total at the end. And during house competitions, this is the format. So if your house wins the house competition, you'll get 25 points, and so on down the screen. So it's a really big incentive, and the leaderboard changes throughout the year. So there is a really nice competitive element to the house competitions where everybody's keen to do their best for their house, and at the end of the year to try and win the house cup for your house. So it's a bit like Harry Potter, if you've seen that, with all the house points. These are some of the competitions we did this year. So we did some, at the start of the year, we did something called the Abbey Games, Abbey Olympics, where there was some fun activities in your induction week, which looked at water challenges. You can see in the bottom left-hand screen, there was some football going on, target football. There was some in the top left-hand screen. You can see a young lady moving marbles as quickly as possible. That's really, really difficult. Some other competitions we had this year, we had a house chess competition. We also then had some different activities on the picture on the right hand side of the screen. You can see them doing some speed stacking, and then we did some other activities as well, which you may not have ever done before. So lots and lots of competitions, and you can see all students get involved, and they're normally some really, really good activities to take part in. The next thing, we also run a number of different events at school. So throughout the year, at points there's some big events that happen. This year we had a particularly big event because it was the school's 25th anniversary celebrations. So you can see the big nice cake in the middle where my cursor is. We had a massive, really, really big celebration, the concert on the bottom left-hand screen there that went along at that night. You can see the hall is full of students and staff celebrating the school's 25th anniversary. We had student performances from the student bands. We had the music clubs performing. We had lots and lots of amazing fireworks at the end of the night. It was a really brilliant evening. Some of the other events we have, you can see Father Christmas there. So we have a traditional English Christmas winter fair where there's lots of rides and food, and we raise money for a local charity by taking part in some of the stalls. And there's lots of competitions and stalls and lots of Christmas activities. We also have some of the other events that we have. We have, for example, Speak English Week, where that is a week where we really focus on the speaking skills of students within our school and really encourage them to use English. So with English even more than they normally do in lessons. So, and building their confidence with using English. So this year we had a drama workshop where students were encouraged to speak with confidence. We do an activity called Grill the Teacher, where students have to ask questions to different teachers. And that is a brilliant week that we do normally in October, November, where students are really encouraged to speak English with confidence and work on their skills and develop their speaking skills. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see there, that is another music event where we've got the music set up. That was around Christmas time, so you can see the tinsel on the stands. That was a smaller concert where it was more a case where students could just turn up and have a go if they've never performed before. So it was a bit of a smaller event rather than the big events if you want to just improve your confidence with your music. So there's some of the brilliant events that we've had this year. Another amazing event that we had, which I really enjoyed, on the next screen, is our Christmas ball. So the pictures will pop up in a second. Here we go. It took a while to pop up because of the picture quality, but you can see that the Christmas ball we hold in Homerton College, which is one of a big hall at a local Cambridge University college. It gets decked out it's very formal, where we sit down. You can see the students are dressed very smartly, elegantly, where we have a sit down meal, and then towards the end of the night there's lots of music and a disco, and students, I had a great time, and I think students did as well. We normally have a 3-course meal, and we had a Christmas ball this year, and traditionally as well we would have had a May ball, but unfortunately because of the events that was unable to be held this year. But traditionally we will have a Christmas ball and a May ball, and students who wish to attend those will sign up, and there is a capacity, but normally the students who want to go will get to go to these events. So that was the Christmas ball this year, which was a brilliant event. I'm now going to talk to you a bit more about clubs and the importance of them to you as students and how it can help you. So you can see on the screen here that I've got in blue, if you are someone who comes to Abbey College, you're a student and you attend Abbey College, you will get excellent teaching, and if you put the work in, you will get excellent results. But there is far more to life, and far more than what the British universities want to see. They want you to not just be somebody who has your academics, okay? They want to have you to have your high academic ability, but they also want you to have a personality and other things to talk about and other interests. So if you can see the next line down where it says student plus Abbey plus clubs, trips, sports, that will give you your excellent teaching. You'll get your excellent results with the effort you put in, but you'll also get everything else that comes underneath you. You'll be able to meet new people from different backgrounds and different countries. When you speak to universities, other interviews, or you write your personal statements, you'll be able to demonstrate a broad range of interests outside the classroom, which is what they look for. It really helps supporting the writing of your UCAS statement. There's a lot more for you to talk about than just you participating in lessons and what you've learned from lessons. You can talk about going on a certain trip that help you with your target of reaching a medical degree, you can talk about your work experience or your volunteering by taking part in clubs. You build lasting memories. You can expand your horizons and learn new skills, develop your English skills and social skills, and in turn it will improve your academic performance because you will learn new things. If you're taking part in sports clubs as well, it's proven that there's another slide later that talks about how important it is that physical activity can enhance your brain capabilities. And as it says at the bottom, we run over 60 clubs, so there is a massive amount of opportunity for students. There should be something for everybody. Okay, so it is not just something. Clubs and activities aren't just something that you should think, oh, maybe I should do this. It is definitely, you should be taking part in 1, 2, 3 clubs a week, because that will impact your future so much more than just sitting in your lessons and then going back to your room and sitting there. You need to get out into the clubs, meet new people, learn new things, and that again, it will impact you later down the line when you're applying to the universities. As well as sort of that academic side of it and your UCAS, and that it impacts on your well-being. We need to think about students within school not just getting burnt out or getting frustrated or stressed with constant academic pressures. We need to think about how you're feeling and how that impacts on your day-to-day life. So taking part in clubs can help relieve stress, give you a break from studies. It can help improve your self-esteem. It definitely makes you happier, can make you more confident. Depending on the clubs you take part in. If, for example, if you took part in debate club or debate society, that's going to really improve your confidence with your speaking and your self-esteem when you stand in front of people. Sports clubs will help you improve your teamwork and communication and organisation. If you've never done computer science before and you want to go to computer science club, you can develop new skills. There's such a wide variety of clubs on offer, and it will help you academically with your UCAS, and it will help you in your sort of day-to-day well-being as well, by getting out of the classroom and not just doing your lessons and then going back to your rooms. Okay, this is the club's timetable from this year. So you can see here that there are we have maths in the morning, but the majority of clubs will happen at lunchtime and after lessons. Pretty much most of the clubs will happen after lessons because lunchtime is relatively short. So there are some clubs that happen, but the majority will happen after lessons, which start from 4:30 and will traditionally run for an hour or so. Some might run a bit longer. There are then some clubs that boarding staff will run in the evenings and at weekends. So you can see there's a huge variety here running from music. There are more academic clubs, which, for example, physics club, where you can look at your physics learning if you wanted to learn some extra things in physics. There's coding with computer science. You can learn new languages with German club. There is creative writing, Duke of Edinburgh, which I'm going to speak a bit more about in a second. At weekends, we've got movie clubs, film nights, debate club. Each of these things are important and bring new skills. So, for example, movie club that's not just a case where you'll sit and watch a movie at night. You will then sort of do a write-up on it, and that might then go into the school newspaper. So we've got new clubs this year, which will be we've got the Abbey newspaper, which our English teacher Ali is going to run this year, and we're hoping to get our first publication out this summer. Students basically run the school newspaper, so if you're interested in journalism, that's something that you should definitely be looking at. If you want to develop your arts, chemistry, geography, I hope there's something for everybody here. And if there's not, then that's when I really, really encourage students to come and talk to me and say, this is what I'm interested in. We don't have it at school at the moment. Is this a club that we can start up? And more often than not, it's a yes. I will do my best to start clubs up, either by getting an outside tutor in. So for computer science, we arranged for someone from the outside community to come in who's an expert in computer science to teach you. Some of the music clubs, as I mentioned before, we have outside tutors that come in, experts in their field, to run the drum club and to run the music production club. Staff will then run all the rest of the clubs in something that they're interested in or from their subject background. Next year we'll also have the drama club, which is going to start. Again, another fantastic opportunity where students, if you're interested in your creative or drama side where you would like to perform, and it's not just if you're performing, if you'd like to be involved in the lighting aspect of it or the engineering side of it, that's another great club to get that you could get involved in. So that was our timetable for this year, and it does change every sort of half term depending on staff availability and students requesting new clubs. Students can also are encouraged to start their own clubs up. So junior university, you see here, that is not run by staff, that is run by students. We had a student who wanted to run that this year, where that's focused on chemistry, and the student there is particularly interested in chemistry, so they looked at different experiments each week, and came and asked me if they needed any equipment, or came and asked if they spoke to their chemistry teachers if they needed any particular advice. But essentially it was a club run by students for students. When we are looking at clubs, there are rewards and incentives for you to attend. So our clubs are known as the ABC, so action, belonging, creativity, and each of our clubs can be broken down into one of those categories. So we try to encourage students to participate in one club from each of those sections. So an action is going to be physical or sports that I'm going to talk about shortly. Belonging, where you're contributing to the lives of others. That again you might be learning new skills, or you might be teaching, you might be attending junior university or doing some volunteering work, just contributing to something else. You might join the student council or be a mentor for another student. And then creative as well, where you develop new thoughts and ideas. That again, music, art. If you're learning a new language or developing new skills in business and technology, we try and encourage students to join at least one club from each of those sections. And towards the end, we have these rewards where we have different standards of sort of your activities. The benchmark for students we expect is 30 hours of activity across the year. So we would hope that a lot of students will be achieving the bronze award by the end of the year. And 30 hours may seem a lot, but really that's just one hour or 1.5 hours sort of each week across the year dedicated to a club or another activity such as Abbey Inspires, again something that I'm going to mention later on in my presentation. We then have silver, gold and platinum. So platinum, 200 hours of activities from all categories and helping with the running and leadership of a club. We had one student achieve platinum this year, even within the short period of time that we were at school, which was a fantastic achievement. This was somebody who attended lots and lots of clubs and really benefited, and as well as benefiting from those clubs, this was a student who also excelled academically. So it's not just a case that if you attend lots of clubs you're going to suffer. I think, and a lot of teachers think, that if you are attending clubs you're going to then use the rest of your time more wisely and study, and you're going to be learning new things in clubs that can spark ideas in your brain, which will lead you to thinking differently in your lessons. So please make sure we're attending clubs. Tutors will encourage you to do this as well. Just in terms of some organisation, clubs are open to all. You do not need to have any previous experience. So if there's a club that you want to try, please go and try it. Even if you go for a week and then find out you don't enjoy it, then you can try something different. But we'll always encourage you to try new things. There are occasionally some clubs that will have certain restrictions on the amount of students that can join so it's done safely, but that is very, very few. Generally, all clubs are open to all, so please make sure you attend things that you want to. All we expect really is that students arrive on time, so that if someone has started a club, then they don't have to repeat things. If someone arrives 15 minutes late, that's quite, we just make sure that students are showing the respect that the teacher or tutor requires by attending on time. You will get the most out of clubs if you take part each week. So if you attend once and then attend 5 weeks later, at computer science club, you might miss a whole chunk of work that they've been doing. They'll be working on projects, they'll be working on coding. So if you attend 1 week and then 5 weeks later, you're going to miss a lot. So demonstrate that commitment, and that is what UCAS, universities, and what you can write on your personal statement is about, demonstrating a commitment to a particular activity. And as I've written at the bottom there, if there is a demand for a club that we don't run, we will try and make it happen for you. So there have been a few clubs this year that students have requested and that I've made happen for them, or they've spoken to other members of staff to make it happen. So please come and speak to me when we're there in September. We also like to, but depending on your interests or where you see yourself going in the future, we like to sort of offer different pathways or recommendations about different clubs that you should be attending if you want to help boost your UCAS applications in a certain area, or you have a particular interest. So if you are interested in medicine, then you should 100% be attending the Medic Club, where you are taught, where there is outside lecturers come in, where you are taught about how to apply for medical courses at universities. They then start to look at volunteering opportunities within local hospitals. So again, volunteering club is something you should be doing. And then the bottom row for each of them, I put a different club. So you might then do D of E, or you might do sport, or you might do football club or badminton club. These clubs that we offer also link to other aspects of college life. So towards the end of year 12, you will do something called a pre-degree diploma, and you will be advised to choose something that will then link to what you would like to apply for at university. So if you want to go down the law route, if you want to do a law degree, we'd advise you to do the Law Society Club, debate club, and then something else. We'd then advise you to do the law pre-degree diploma, because then that is going to give you such a wide variety of things to talk about within your UCAS statement and when you come to go and see universities. So then we have the same the same for journalism, the same for technology and finance. And then if you are a creative and you want to do some creative, do a creative degree, we have all those options. So I hope that we would cater for every single student that comes to our college and their aspirations for the future and what they would like to do. Again, I'm always open to listening to students or listening to people, so please do come and speak to me about anything that you would like to know more about when you are at school. Now I'd like to talk to you about the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme. This is something that we run at Abbey College, Cambridge, and it's an internationally recognised award and considered quite valuable by universities. It's almost looked at as another A level. So we had 30 students this year who signed up to do the Silver Award. Now there is a Gold Award, but I would recommend that if you have never done the Duke of Edinburgh Award before, that you start off at Silver. That will then still give you time to start the Gold at Abbey College and then take that forward with you to university. You can continue this award all the way up until you're 25 years old, and I still get emails, and other staff get emails from students who are 23, 24 at university who are finishing their Gold Award and require some information from us. So this is something that doesn't just have to be done at Abbey, and it is something you can take forward and that employers and universities think are very valuable, because you learn so many different skills that you don't get from your lessons. So you will learn about teamwork and organisation, you learn about listening to each other, you will be challenged. Part of the Duke of Edinburgh award scheme is doing an expedition where you may have to walk for a long distance. You will have to camp outside. You have to cook for yourself. It all sounds a bit scary, but we will teach you all the skills that you need to know. And the students who have come through the Duke of Edinburgh award scheme and achieve their silver or gold award are also those students who thrive and succeed academically as well. They are the sort of students who build their resilience, and these are the sort of skills that you will need in the future if something's difficult in the workplace or at university. Then you need to develop that resilience to sort of keep working at things and keep developing new ideas to work out problems and then overcome them as well. I'll talk more about the Duke of Edinburgh award scheme in September during the induction week. If you'd like any more information on that, I'm more than happy to sort of pass on any more information. But essentially, there's four sections that you need to look at. There's volunteering, a physical section, skills, expedition, and then if you do the gold, there is another residential section that is written on there that you need to take on as well. But it's a fantastic award, and I would highly recommend that is something that you should be looking at, because it is so well thought of across the world, but particularly in England by universities and employers. Here are some pictures of some of the students who have taken part in it over the last couple of years. So you can see that you'll get to go to some of the most picturesque places within England. It will be sort of in the countryside. Unfortunately, you don't get to pick when we do expeditions. We have a date. If it's a bit windy, if it's a bit rainy, then that's just another thing that's going to improve your resilience and something that you need to overcome. The teamwork aspect is brilliant. You have to plan your routes. So if you're walking, as you can see there, students have to plan their routes from going from one place to the next, and there you walk on your you will walk on your own, but it will get checked on by myself and other teachers at different points along the way, and you have to use your maps and compasses. No phones are allowed, but it is a worthwhile experience that will give you long-lasting memories for the rest of your life. So it's highly recommended. I'm going to talk to you now a bit more about sports, which is one of my big passions, and I think that everybody should be taking part in physical activity during their time at school and at Abbey College. This was our timetable this year. So you can see that we only have one club in the morning at the moment, which is swimming, but that's highly likely to change this year. I'm just looking at that at the moment. But then other clubs we run are basketball, badminton, we have fitness clubs, we have football club, netball, we have volleyball, running clubs, squash clubs, indoor football, tennis, table tennis, handball. We're going to start this year as well. We're going to hopefully have a dance club. We're going to hopefully have a golf club, which will run at a very prestigious course, which is local to us. We also have a boxing club, which has started at a local boxing club where students can go and learn how to box safely, and it really improves your fitness. So there's some of the sports clubs. Again, these are open to everybody. So football club this year, we had every week between about 24, 30 students. Same with badminton. With all these sports as well, we play fixtures against other schools and universities. So I'm already organising football fixtures this year. For badminton, we play in the local colleges league, so you will play against students from the University of Cambridge and their local colleges, which is quite another nice opportunity to talk to people who are already at university and their experience as well. I've seen this year that university students who we play against are more than happy to talk to our students about what Cambridge University is like and their experience of getting into that university. This is a quick diagram. As I said, I really am passionate about sport and physical activity and how that can impact your impact your impact your life and your academic life. So you can see here where my cursor is, this is your brain function. This is just the difference in somebody's brain function from when they've just been doing 20 minutes walking. There are numerous studies that show that by doing physical activity, it helps to improve your cognitive and brain function, and which will then therefore in turn improve your performance in the classroom. So that's why I encourage you to go and take part in a sporting club, physical activity, do something during the day, even if it's going out for a walk. Please don't, we really encourage you not just to go to your lessons, then go back and sit in your room. We encourage you to go out for walks, encourage you to go use our gym on the school site, take part in the sports clubs, because that will benefit you physically, mentally, and socially. Okay. Here are some pictures of the students playing sports and some of the facilities that we use. So at our site, we have a hall where my cursor is at the moment, where we do lots of fitness activities and where the PE lessons happen. We then use facilities off-site for all the rest of our sports, so you can use bigger sports hall. There is a big sports hall directly next to our school sites, which we use for basketball and for netball. We then tend to travel either via minibus or by taxi to go and play badminton at another school, and obviously use a swimming pool at somewhere else. The tennis courts are directly next to our school as well, so that's a very useful facility that we have access to. So yeah, there's some of our amazing students playing sport this year. These again, I've mentioned some of the fixtures, but these are some of the opportunities that we have. So we will have football fixtures and other fixtures against other local private schools. We have chances to participate in national competitions by being part of the Independent Schools Association. Part of that is that they will offer football trials for the national private school team. So we will be taking a group of students to have trials for that team. The badminton team participate against in the University of Cambridge Colleges League, and our team this year were very successful and beat numerous teams. Our football team also successful in some of the matches that they played this year. Again, hopefully next year, due to the circumstances of this school year finishing slightly earlier, we haven't been able to play as many competitions this year, but they are being arranged already for next year, and we're hopeful to have a lot more competition moving forward for lots of different sports this year. There are also lots of other sports clubs in Cambridge that you can participate in if you want to get out into local communities. So if you're interested in golf, boxing, rugby, football, horse riding, swimming, the list is endless. For a good example is horse riding. So I've had a lot of questions about students wanting to participate in horse riding this year, and unfortunately it's not something we can do on site, but I am able to let students know where they can go to access individual lessons, and I can help them communicate and set up lessons that they can then attend outside of school time or at weekends. We have some other students who compete for local swimming clubs and then take part in competitions at an elite level. We have some other students who have participated in the local boxing club outside of school time, and students who sign up to local golf clubs, and students who want to play rugby if they've done that before. The list is endless. So again, there's another message of, if you have any questions or want to take part in something, please come and speak to me. I've helped students go to local dance clubs this year or gymnastics clubs. Please just come and speak to me, and I can help you with anything that you need in terms of sports you would like to play. This is a bit now about core PE. So if you are a compulsory student age within England, you will have one lesson of PE a week with me. That'll be a brilliant lesson. We've done lots of different things this week in the sports hall, and we've done badminton, table tennis, we've looked at first aid. We don't just talk about the physical side of sport as well, we also look at the science behind sport. So I like to talk about what a healthy diet is, how sport can help you promote well-being. I like to talk about what is going on within your body in terms of how your heart and lungs respond to exercise, and have a bit more of a science behind it. Students are asked to wear a kit for PE from this year onwards. This is a new, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there are some designs. We are going to have a new sports kit for Abbey College, which will be available to buy online at the start of July. This will then be delivered to school in time for your arrival if you order within a certain time frame. This is a selection. There are also jackets, other trousers, bags, hats. There is a wide selection of Abbey College sports clothing that you can buy, which can then be worn, which will have to be worn compulsory for PE lessons, but which will then be worn for sports clubs and activities as well. So if you go to a football club, you might want to wear your Abbey College top to training, or badminton club, if you play a fixture against the local university team, you will wear one of the Abbey College sports, part of the Abbey College sports range clothing. Okay, so that's going to be something quite exciting that will be online, available to buy sort of from July. Part of the extracurricular program as well is overseas trips and visits, then within the UK as well. Last year we ran a trip to Barcelona in October and Berlin in February. I have just sent a survey out to the students to see where they would like to attend this year, and at the moment the most popular destinations that students would like to go to is Iceland and Paris in France. So they will be some of the things we're looking at next year. We won't, due to obviously the circumstances at the moment within the world, we won't be running a trip in October, but we will be looking at running a trip in February, either to Iceland or Paris, as I mentioned. There are various visits also that took place last year, so whether it was to art galleries, to museums, to lectures by professionals in certain fields. So I know that the history department took some of their students to a visit at a local Cambridge University, where there was a history professor doing a speech about something they were studying. The same has happened for physics and maths. So there are numerous visits that will be advertised that will help you and help you within your lessons, and teachers will advertise those to you, and you'd be encouraged to attend those trips and those visits, because not only will it help you within your lessons, again it will help you, and it's something else to write about within your UCAS statements and personal statements, and things that you can talk about on interviews if you have them at universities. Here are some of the pictures from the trips and visits. As I said, we took some students up to Manchester United to have a tour of that stadium, and then go and watch. We also went to go and watch Manchester City play in a Premier League match. There's some other pictures there from students who went on the Berlin trip. You can see here that's the German flag. Again, this is another picture from somewhere called Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin. So while they were there, they looked at lots of different historical aspects and sporting aspects of German life. Again, when we went to Barcelona, students looked at the architectural and art side of Barcelona. They went and visited lots of historical sites. This is a student in a local art gallery where they've been taken to, and then doing lots of practicing some of their artwork that they would be doing within their lessons as well. The last bit that I'd like to talk to you about is something else that we have at school called Abbey Inspires. These are, again, something outside of lessons that we highly recommend that students involve themselves in. They happen in the evening and are run by teachers and run by outside lecturers who come in, and these go beyond the curriculum. So you will be pushed beyond your subjects, beyond the subject curriculum, to learn at a more advanced level, whether it is at a university level, or look at something unrelated to the curriculum, which will enhance your knowledge within the subject. So this year there has been there's different lectures, talks and debates. They're visiting professors, different practical experiments. We've had dissections within biology, art and drama workshops, astronomy. There are also within Abbey Inspires and extra catch-up classes, bonus revision lessons, extra classes, and as it's mentioned, there much more. So again, these are things that we highly recommend you attend, and you will be able to sign up for these. Their teachers will normally advertise these, and you will get to see the posters within your tutor time. On the right hand side of the screen here are some examples of some of the Abbey Inspires that have taken place this year. So they're within geography, looking at a case study of flooding. There's been some live drawing classes, some extracted DNA from a strawberry within the science, physics. There's a whole range of things that happen outside of curriculum time that we encourage you to get involved in. And if you attend these then contribute to your ABC hours, as I previously mentioned, with your bronze, silver, gold, platinum awards. They all get added together. These are some pictures from the academic evenings. You can see here, so we have lots of visiting lecturers come in. We'll have people from universities come in and talk to you about how to apply for universities, what is the best way of applying, how can you enhance your UCAS statement. Sorry, let's go back one. And then looking at different experiments and things outside of your curriculum. You can see a nice picture in the top right hand corner of the history Abbey Inspires, where they looked in depth with costumes and different equipment about how that part of history happened and what went on, and made it more interactive and more fun. Why should you attend Abbey Inspires? Again, as I've mentioned, it boosts your UCAS statements, it improves subject knowledge, you're looking beyond the curriculum, and we've definitely noticed that those students who engage with Abbey Inspires clubs will have better academic outcomes. And there's many research studies that support the relationship between participation and high academic performance, not just doing your lessons and then going back to your rooms, by doing the other things that are on offer within the school. These are some views from our students. So I recently did a survey, and these are some of the things that they said about our clubs and activities at Abbey College. So you can read them. They've said it's a chance to learn something new beyond syllabus. They can do things they're passionate about. Football club helps me make friends. I can meet new people. Really enjoy the chess tournament. And then I'm particularly proud of the bottom one, how diverse the options are. So as we've mentioned, we've had over 60 different clubs, sports clubs, Abbey Inspires, that are on offer. There is hopefully something for everybody, and if there is not, that is when you can come and speak to me. I just wanted to talk briefly at the end about the social distancing and how that will operate this year within our clubs and activities and trips. As I mentioned, we won't be running a trip in October, but we'll hopefully be running one in February. Normally we advertise the clubs at a freshers fair, where where staff and students advertise their clubs and you can sign up for different clubs. This year, depending on the government guidelines and restrictions, which are changing all the time, that might be interactive this year, where staff will record messages and you'll be able to watch videos of staff advertising their clubs. For sports, we will again go by government guidelines as to whether team sports can go ahead. Football, basketball, fingers crossed, everything can go ahead as planned. All other sports will be managed and follow the clear guidelines that are set out by UK sports. I look regularly at what the UK sport organisation are saying with regards to social distancing and how sport can best be managed. PE lessons, I'm planning a range of different activities that will meet all the guidelines. We'll keep equipment to a minimum and make sure that anything that is used is cleaned, washed, or disposed of if needed before somebody else needs to use them, or if they can't be used again, we'll dispose of them. Clubs that happen within school, they're all run in appropriate places, and measures will be put in place in accordance with government guidelines. If there, for example, are too many students for the clubs to run safely, we then may have to operate on a alternate week-by-week basis, or we would try and run the club maybe twice during the week to make sure that students have access to as many clubs as possible. And trips, again, half term. With this, as sort of we all know, the government guidelines will be continued to be monitored and change. And I will continually speak to the principal within the school and the vice principals about their plans and how the school is going to operate, and to ensure that we can run the most amount of clubs possible within school to give you these opportunities, but to also make sure that we are meeting the government requirements for that. Again, if you have any more questions about this, I'm more than happy to take them at the end or to answer them via email if needed. So my final thoughts are, at Abbey College, try new things. There'll be things that you may not have done before, but you're encouraged to try something new. Look at all the clubs that are on offer. Enjoy everything that Abbey College Cambridge has to offer. As I've said, we have a massive amount of diverse clubs, but there should be something for everybody. But if not, the last point there, come and speak to me with any ideas you have. If you want to run your own club, or if you want to start a new club, please come and speak to me. There is sort of no boundaries. You'll know where my office is, and you can come and speak to me about anything that you wish to. So yeah, that is my presentation about the extracurricular clubs and sports on offer. Hopefully you'll have some questions that will be shared with me, and I can answer those for you. Hopefully I've covered a lot of things, but if you would like me to repeat anything or go through things, then please do let me know, and I look forward to sort of hearing from you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip, for your brilliant presentation. Yeah, I have actually just received one question from audience. I'm not really sure what the audience asks. Basically, the question is, what do you need to have to go to college? I guess is what do you need to prepare for those clubs, or attending those clubs before they start? Yeah. Please correct me if I interpreted wrong. And yes, that's the question.
If that is the question, there is nothing that you have to prepare. You can turn up. There's nothing you need to prepare for clubs. You can just turn up when you arrive at Abbey College and go to a new club. If you've never done, for example, if you would like to go learn German as a new language, you can just go there without knowing any German, and our teacher will help you with that. You don't need to prepare anything. As I mentioned, we normally have a freshers fair within the first week. So if you're how it will work, if you're a new student at Abbey College, you'll come in. There'll be an induction week where you'll get to know the school, you'll get to know the city. You'll do lots and lots of different activities to help with your induction to college. Then the following week, when all the students have come back, there is a freshers fair. So for new students, where every single club that is on offer at Abbey College will be advertised by a teacher or students who run it. And new students will then be able to go and sign up to those clubs to give teachers an idea about who will be attending. Just because you sign up for or express an interest in that club doesn't mean that you have to attend it for the whole year. You might sign up for 10 clubs that interest you, but by the end of the sort of 2 weeks, you might think that I really, really want to commit to 3 or 4 of those clubs. So there's nothing you have to prepare. We encourage you to try lots of different things, and then you'll find that there'll be some particular clubs that you really want to commit to and that you are interested in, because there are 60 clubs, but it's impossible to attend all the clubs. So there'll be things that you need to pick and choose. But as long as you are doing 2-3 clubs in a week, look at maybe going to an Abbey Inspires, then that's going to really help you with your academics and UCAS as well.
Great. Thank you, Philip. I guess at the moment there are not any more questions from the audience, but I do have some questions if you can help to answer them. For example, how many activities can students choose at one time? Because we do receive inquiries from a student who are very sort of passionate about joining clubs, and sometimes we need to make sure they're aware that there's a limit or how much they can do. Can you please advise on that? Thank you.
Students can do a club every single night of the week if they want to. Obviously, they need to think carefully about the clubs that they're doing and balancing it with their academic studies as well. So we'd encourage you to maybe participate in 2-3 clubs a week, which run for an hour after school, or if it's a sports club, they might happen later on in the evening. So our badminton club, for example, runs from 5:30 till 7:30. So that will give students some time at the end of school to go back to their rooms, relax for a bit, and then do badminton club in the evening. But if you're doing clubs every single night of the week, then you may be up then very late with your studies. So we'd probably encourage to participate in clubs, but equally you need to balance it with your academic studies. So probably wouldn't recommend that you're doing something every single night of the week, but at least sort of 2-3 nights there will be clubs that you should be taking part in from the wide variety that we have on offer.
That's great. Yes. So if you are really energetic and given you can balance your academic work, then you are very welcome to join every day.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Friday activities and plus the weekend ones. But however, we know that we all have some limitations. So the minimum activities or clubs that you can join is between 2 to 3 per week. I do have some more questions now. Audience asked, are the clubs all run by students?
Most of the clubs are run by staff or outside teachers who come in. I think we had 2 clubs this year, 3 clubs that were run by students for students. So there was a board game club that was run by students, there was a junior university that was run by students, and there was another chemistry experimental club that was run by students. And how that worked is they organised with teachers to use a classroom and to use facilities, and as teachers we trust them to use the facilities sensibly and to run their club. And then they were sort of left to run their club as they wish. The majority of clubs are run by staff or by outside teachers who come in.
Okay, great. Yes. So basically, all the teachers will support the students to run their clubs. We'll kind of provide a guidance and monitor on how things go. So, so we will work together with the students. So there are a few more questions. The audience asked when the typical day the student will finish in Abbey College, Cambridge.
Typically lessons, it will vary depending on your timetable, but typically lessons will finish at 4:30. So clubs will, if there's a club that happens on school sites, it will happen directly after lessons. So it will probably happen from 4:30 till 5:30, and then that will give you students time from 5:30 onwards to go and have dinner and then do homework or further studies. Some sports clubs will happen later on in the evening, so students will need to sort of plan around that because of where we can have access to facilities. So for example, football club took place between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. So we would leave and we would have to travel there. So if you joined football club, we would leave via taxi or minibus at 5:15 to get to our venue for 5:30. We would then have a football session from 5:30 to 7, and then from 7 o'clock we would get taxis and minibus back, so you'd be back at college for 7:15. So students will then plan their studies and plan their meal times sort of around that, and then we'll get into a routine of how to do that.
Okay, that's great.
So majority of clubs will happen directly after lessons unless it's a sports club, and then there are some obviously at weekends which will happen at various different times.
Okay, thank you. So I guess this Philip has answered the next question as well, and someone is asking if they can finish at 7:30 or something. So that's, you know, so it depends on this, what you are doing. So yeah, students will definitely have time to have their dinner, have their own, you know, time to do the homework, and at the same time, and then they can do their clubs and activities.
Yeah,
okay? So what do they do? Can you tell audience a bit more about what do they do at the weekends? You know, activities that run by Abbey College, Cambridge.
Okay, so activities at weekends, that is all run by boarding staff, and sometimes we'll have some outside lecturers come in. So depending on what the boarding staff want to offer, but this year we had on a Sunday, there was a very sort of sports heavy Sunday where there was badminton, indoor football, squash, basketball. Other clubs that are on offer, there is a baking and cooking club that is run, so students can get to learn how to cook for themselves and use ingredients and learn skills that they will need at university to be able to cook for yourself. So there's cooking club, there was debate club at the weekend, table tennis club, tennis club. Hopefully this year I'm going to organise a dance club. There was a craft club, film club, movie review. Yeah, so there's the boarding staff put on a really wide variety of activities at the weekend, and again that will give you opportunity to go and do a club and then have time to study or to go into Cambridge, or yeah, there'll be plenty of time to do everything.
Okay, and so our students will be very busy on the weekends as well. Relaxation and all the activities will be run.
It's important to have time to relax as well. I would never expect a student to be doing something every single night of the week and all the time at weekends. It's important that you have to relax and watch television if you want to, or play a computer game if you want to, but at the same time you then balance that with your academic and club activities.
That's great, thank you. So another audience is asking about instruments. So do students have to book each time before they trying to use a instrument in the college? And if so, do they have limitations on how many times they can use per week?
So the pianos, they are open and people can you just go and sit at them in reception or in your boarding house and just go and use them. You don't need to book them. The music rooms need to be booked, and there is a booking system at our reception where you can go and write your name down and then come and collect the keys to the music rooms to use the equipment. So there is some booking for that. I don't think there's not a limit. John, our director of music, will be able to answer that a bit better. But I don't think, from what I know, there isn't any limitations on how many times you can book the music rooms. But it would probably be for an hour, maybe for an hour or 2 hours at a time if you want to have your band session or go and practice something. But there is no limitations, and there is a booking system so that you have your own space to go in there. And I've frequently walked in there to look at something, and there's been a student playing or practicing with headphones on their own because that's something they've wished to do inside during after school. And also if you then have some some study lessons during school time, it might be a case that you might want to go and practice your music at that time as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I did see some students playing pianos during break time or lunchtime. Which is very pleasant to visitors and other students as well, especially they are playing So another audience is asking, what is the typical dinner time then?
It ranges from it's not just sort of for half an hour. It will range for a couple of hours, so that should give you an opportunity. So it tends to be sort of from, I think this year it was around about 5 o'clock through to sort of 7 o'clock. If there has been, so obviously if there are clubs that cross over that time and on your dinner time, students tend to speak to their boarding staff, their boarding houses, and they will keep them some food back. So sometimes students who attended football club, if they thought they were going to miss out on that dinner time, because it's the only time football club can happen once a week, then they would ask their boarding staff to keep them some dinner behind, and they would then have that as soon as they come back.
Oh, that's brilliant. So we will not let our students go hungry.
No.
Go out and play activities, so you won't be hungry. You have hot meals to be served when you come back.
Yeah, so the students, they will need to take responsibility for that and talk to their members of boarding staff about that, because the boarding staff won't automatically know that they haven't had dinner. The student will need to take responsibility for that and ask them to sort of keep something behind, and they will do that for them.
Great, thank you. Another question from audience is about dance club. So we will run this club at school, and who will teach students to dance?
I've been in communication with a dance teacher who's hopefully going to agree to run a dance club for me on a Saturday morning. And she is very experienced in sort of all different forms of dance, and will hopefully come in and deliver that to students on a Saturday morning. If there are other forms of dance that students are interested in, I organised for about 3 or 4 students this year to go and take part in dance clubs run within the Cambridge community. So it's either run by the University of Cambridge, or there's other dance organisations within the local community that students can access if what we offer doesn't meet their requirements.
So students will have options, and then
so there will always be options, and students could then go to that dance club at a weekend, even if it's not in school. There will be something to access, and I can support them in finding dance clubs. But I'm just waiting for this lady to confirm that she's definitely going to be there in September, but she should be.
Thank you very much. Last question from me, and a very practical question. So when can students start to choose activities, and when is the deadline, basically, for students to secure their club? They can
start to choose activities from when we have that Freshers Fair. So as I said, we have new students will have their induction week, where there will be no clubs. Then the second week, when all the returning students come back, there won't be any clubs, but students will then have that week to sign up to clubs. And then so it'll be sort of your third week within school, where the clubs during the week will start, because you would have then signed up and teachers will know who's coming. It tends to be that weekend activities will start sooner by boarding staff, because they will do lots and lots of activities. But those clubs during the week if you're a new student, it'll be your third week in. And even if you don't sign up for a club at the start, students can then join midway through the year if they want to. They can. So if you don't come to the first week of badminton club, you can come later on in the year. We had numerous students turn up later on in the year who then wanted to be interested in badminton. So it's not a case if you don't start straight away that you cannot attend the club. Our clubs are open to everybody, and we'd encourage you to join at any point during the year.
Yes, so we are very flexible, and
yes.
Let us know when you want to attend certain clubs, and we will arrange that for you. Brilliant. That's all the questions for today, and thank you very much, and thank you all the audience who participated into this session. We will make a recording of the presentation, and we'll send you the point presentation by our local sales managers. Yes, so stay tuned for our further sample lessons. And yeah, we will see you guys next time. Thank you. Have a lovely day to you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.